The Letter by Dhumketu. Dhumketu is the pen name of Gauri Shankar Govardhan Das Joshi, a prolific author who pioneered the trend of short stories in Gujarati literature. Born on the 12th of December 1892 in the sleepy town of Vipur, Gujarat, Gauri Shankar led a difficult childhood as he was forced to take up small jobs in a bid to continue his education. It was during one such job that the young Gauri Shankar got to savor the various forms of literature, including biographies and historical novels. After graduation, Gauri Shankar dabbled in different careers, including that of a railway clerk, before returning to teach at a private school in Ahmedabad. It was while teaching at this school that the writer in Gauri Shankar Joshi began to bloom. In the years to come, he went on to pen down several novels as well as numerous collections of short stories, all of which were characterized by romanticism and vivid yet strong play of human emotions. One such story is The Letter, which incidentally made its way into a book titled The Best Loved Indian Stories of the Century. This highly acclaimed short story poignantly depicts an old man's desperate wait for a letter from his daughter, from whom he has not heard of from the past 5 years. To get a gist of this short story, let us listen to this conversation between a grandfather and his granddaughter.
Dadaji, who's Ali? And why do you visit his grave every time we visit this village?
Ali was this old man who lived when I used to work as a postmaster in this village. He died waiting to receive a letter from his daughter.
Didn't his granddaughter live with him?
She did, but then one day, Miriam, Ali's only child, married a soldier and went off with him to his regiment, which was stationed in Punjab. This separation drowned Ali into a sea of sorrow and turned a once lively hunter into a cheerless man. Ali's sorrow was compounded by the fact that he did not receive any news from Miriam for 5 years.
My goodness, no news for 5 years. That must have been harsh on Ali.
Yes, Ali was completely devastated. He gave up hunting and was now consumed by only one desire: getting news from his daughter, which according to him would be delivered through a letter. He was so sure that Miriam would write to him that he would come daily to the post office at 5 in the morning, come hail, storm or rain. In fact, Ali was one of the first to reach the office, and I can still visualize the way he would sit in one corner of the building waiting for his letter.
Didn't you find it weird to see Ali waiting for a letter that was most likely never to arrive?
Weird? We thought Ali was mad. And people, including the postman, would laugh at him. The postman, in fact, would call out his name just for the fun of seeing him leap to his feet and come to the door.
That was so mean. To make a fun of an old and helpless man. Dadaji, did you also think he was mad?
Honestly, I too thought he was mad and could never understand why he hankered for a piece of paper. Then, one day, Ali stopped coming. My colleagues and I were too busy and unsympathetic to figure out why he wasn't showing up, and therefore no one really inquired. However, one morning, Ali reappeared. His appearance, though, was greatly altered, as he was looking haggard and was struggling for breath. That day, Ali came to me to inquire about his letter. Naturally, I lost my cool and rebuked him by saying that if and when the letter comes, are we going to eat it?
Dadaji, I think you should have respected Ali's feelings instead of rebuking him.
You are so right. My words hurt Ali so much that his eyes swelled with tears, and he turned towards Lakshmi Das, one of the clerks who worked with me. Handing over 5 golden guineas to Lakshmi Das, Ali asked him to forward Miriam's letter to his grave.
That's a strange request.
Yes, but looking back, I think Ali had sensed that he would perhaps not receive a letter from his beloved daughter, in this life at least. I never saw Ali after that day, and life continued as usual. Then one day, I got to know that your mother, who was in another town, was very ill. That entire day, I anxiously waited for the arrival of the Daily Post just to get some news about her. As soon as the post arrived and the letters were piled on my table, I lunged at the letter, which I thought would be from your mother. Alas, the letter was not from your mother, but from Miriam, Ali's daughter. I immediately called Lakshmi Das, the clerk to whom Ali had handed over the golden guineas, and asked him to find Ali. Your mother's letter, however, never arrived, and I spent the entire day burdened with anxiety and concern. And it was during those anxious hours that I felt a wave of sympathy surging towards Ali, who, like me, had been waiting for the news of his daughter for so many years. The only difference was that for me the wait was for one night, whereas for Ali, it stretched for 5 years. The next day, I reached the post office early and was busy with my work when I heard a gentle knock on the door. Confident that it will be Ali, I got up and opened the door. Indeed, it was Ali, but he was looking frail and bent considerably. When I requested him to come in, Ali lifted his eyes. At that very instant, I shrank back in fear, for in those eyes I saw an unearthly light. By that time, even Lakshmi Das arrived at the scene. Apparently, he had overheard my voice and wanted to check who I was talking to. I hardly acknowledged Lakshmi Das's presence as my eyes were fixed on the doorway from which Ali had disappeared. I finally regained composure and told Lakshmi Das that I was indeed talking to Ali. Imagine my horror when Das told me that Ali had died 3 months back.
Oh my goodness! Then who was at the door?
I don't know, but later that day Lakshmi Das and I visited Ali's grave and placed the letter that he had been waiting for.
Ali? then seems to have left a deep impression on you.
Yes, I was a changed man after that visit to Ali's grave. Earlier, while sorting through the mail, I would look at them as mere envelopes and postcards. But after Ali's death, the letters appeared to me as something that contained a warm, beating heart. Brother Ali, forgive me, for I could not understand you and your pain, but now I do.
Thus the letter, in a subtle way, teaches us that one must not lose hope in the face of adversity and always respect others' feelings.